Hello, beauty entrepreneurs. So with today's guest, we're gonna learn about how she came up with her product and the research that she went through to come up and get to where she's at today. And then learn about the structure of our affiliate program. And don't worry, it's not like your MLM type, pyramid program. And then finally, how she overcame all the naysayers and the negativity in her life. So stay tuned if you want to learn more. Welcome to the Business of Beauty, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. This is your host, David Lee. All right. So, welcome to the Business of Beauty live session, where we help beauty entrepreneurs in building their business and reaching their dreams. I'm your host, David Lee. Our guest today owns and operates a salon 7 days a week, created and manages an affiliate program with 18 affiliate downlines, manages an e-commerce website, and now she recently launched Beyond Beauty School. Her name is Tanya Mason at Tanya Does Hair LLC. Welcome and thank you for being on the show.
It is so my pleasure. I appreciate you and the platform and your time and attention. So as you said, I am Tanya Mason. I am owner and operator of Tanya Does Hair in Greenwood Village, Colorado. And just recently, I'm very proud to announce that I launched my own brand back in July of 2018, which is called My Water Leave-In Hair Solution. I, in addition, evolved that into, like you mentioned, an affiliate program where I want to offer the same benefits that I'm gaining through the use of my water to other licensed professionals such as myself. So through the affiliate program, you are able to earn extra money by two ways, either becoming what's called a professional marketing affiliate, which means you obtain an individualized link, which allows you to simply share. No bottling, no labeling, packaging, none of that. All you do is just share the link with your friends and family. And that in return will pay you 30% commission on all monthly sales that come through your individualized link. I also offer a wholesale retail side of things where I offer an additional 30% savings on specialized packages for inventory, for those that have retail space or desire to accumulate retail space in their salon. Retail is a very huge part of income in a salon. So I wanted others to be able to benefit and take on the same lifestyle that I am experiencing now. So in addition to the affiliate program, I also just launched the Beyond Beauty School, where I am bringing what I'm calling holistic business practices and training, which is catering to the pattern hair community, and then also to individualized training. So that's newly launched. We just launched that in October. So actually that's 3 brands that I have launched within a 12-month period.
Wow. Wow. Where do you find time to sleep or do anything else?
Everyone asks me that, and I say the same time you sleep, which is at night and overnight.
Yeah.
One
so
thing
do you have like 25 hours in the day or 26 hours? Like, where does it come from?
Well,
how do you manage your time?
I would like to first point out the huge component of why I do what I do. Doing hair is my passion. It's not a job for me. It's not a side hustle. It's not an extra, avenue. It is my breath. I breathe hair. So anytime I'm behind the chair and I'm here in the salon, I'm never agonized. I'm never tired because I do sleep at night. I'm energized. I'm excited. I'm having fun now. So there's no strain with working, quote unquote. So when I'm doing hair, it's like I'm at the park. And each client is like a different ride for me. And I'm like standing in line and I can't wait to get on because I know it's going to be fun. I know it's going to be exciting and I know the end result is going to be amazing. So I'm never honestly tired. I tell people I've learned to work smarter and not harder.
That's pretty smart. Yes. Now, like, do you have do you have a routine? Do you like when do you wake up at a certain time and you do certain things in order just to kind of manage all these different things, right? You got your salon, you got your affiliate program, you got your e-commerce site, you're launching new brands. Like, what is your routine like throughout your day, throughout your week?
So, a day for Miss Tanya starts at about 4:30 a.m. every single morning. I don't rise. I don't rise by time, clocks like most women may, or most people may. Yeah. But I automatically rise at 4:30 every morning. I drink a lot of water orally, so I have to urine early in the morning. But I have learned that that's when my mind is fresh. That's when I'm the most alert, is when I first wake up in the mornings. And so this is actually when I dedicate 3 hours every morning to touch base with my team, to go over the numbers from the day before, to give marketing some attention, and also promoting. So this is when, like, I do all my Facebook and Instagram posts. I review any raw footage that I may have captured the day before. This is the time that I touch base with clients that may have questions or concerns about their appointments or their services that they've already received. This is what I call my admin time, my administrative time. And that's the time that I give.
And is that like right in the morning from like 4:30 to 7 or 4:30 to 9? Like what does that look like?
Actually, it varies. I can't say that I give every morning the exact same time frame. I give every morning to admin from 4:30 until 8 a.m. Anyone on my team that works for me, I have a couple of them that are on the East Coast, so they're 2 hours ahead of me. So 8 a.m. is my cutoff time, because at that point I open the salon at 9 a.m. and I have to have time to, of course, get dressed and jump into Miss Tanya and be ready for my 9 a.m. client. Once I get to the salon, I begin taking clients, usually from 9 until about 6 p.m. during the day. As any salon owner knows, there's downtime every day. There is times when you're not behind the chair. So I've learned to make the most of that time. So in here, you do things like towels and sweeping and dusting and so forth, to keep your environment clean and ready for the next client. Once my day ends here, I have to admit, I'm exhausted.
What time is? when does your salon end?
At this time, it's about no later than 7 p.m. So I do not allow.
PM. Wow.
Yes.
So you're there 10 hours, right? From 9 to 7, right?
Correct. And that's not consistent. One of the beauties about owning your own salon is that you're not really secluded all day. I mean, unless you choose to. And because I do run the other businesses, if I have like an hour break, I may have to run to the post office to drop an order off. Or I may have to run to the beauty supply store to buy, replenish on supplies or inventory. So I make the most of downtime in the salon in order to, I guess, capitalize on the efficiency of the running of the salon. So that's pretty much a day for Miss Tanya, and that's 7 days a week. I have to admit, I'm not married. I'm a single woman, and my children are grown now, so I'm an empty nester. So I do have a lot of time now on my hands. So a lot of people wonder how and why. And I think when I exemplified those important factors, you can understand. I have a lot of time to give to business now.
Love it. Love it. And also, since you mentioned when people are asking all these questions, now for those that are on the live feed right now, we have a few that are on. Feel free to submit questions. All right.
Yes, ask me anything. I am so open to questions. I want to share with anyone that's watching that I've asked a lot of questions during my journey. And quite frankly, questions make people feel uncomfortable. And I understand that now, but I want everyone to know with me, you can ask me anything. Questions make me wiser. Questions make me smarter. Questions make me read more, because if there's ever a question that is asked of me that I do not know the answer to, I promise I will find the information, because we both need to know. So anyone watching, if you have any questions about your skin, why it turns white, why you have blackheads on your nose, why you have pimples, about the cosmetics that we're using, your regimen, anything that pops into your mind. I would like for you to ask. I do hold over 25 years of experience. I am a licensed cosmetologist, which means I am also a licensed esthetician as well as a licensed nail tech. I just do not practice esthetician nor nail tech work. Ms. Tanya does hair. So I've decided to just concentrate on my passion of my license, which is hair. But as we all now know, I also have skincare options for us, which is coming from my water leave-in hair solution. It's amazing. It's a universal product that works on both our hair and our skin. I say to everybody in the world, Mr. Lee, do you have any item in your closet that you can use on both your hair and your face?
I don't think I do. I usually they're separate.
There's a reason why there's two departments in the stores. We all know that we have to go to one aisle for our face or our skincare regimen, then you have to go to a whole other aisle for your hair care regimen. Well, guess what? I've simplified that. I don't like shopping.
I like simplicity.
I'm a one-stop shop type of girl. So my water is a universal multicultural product. It's safe, meaning I haven't added anything to my water. I had to take a seat back down in chemistry and learn the different types of waters and all the different functions that waters have. Now
since we got into this topic of your my water, now like questions our viewers are probably asking, okay, well, you're saying we're used to having separate products, right? One for hair, one for skin. And we feel like, okay, because they're separate products, they should work better, right? They're really concentrated, they're really focused. So really what makes your product, and when you say, all right, it works on everything, our fear might be, well, is it jack of all trades, right?
Right. So what I explained to everyone is I dived very deep when I went into making this product. I found back in 2016, after conducting extensive research and studies, that conditioner is actually a styling product. It is not a moisturizer. It's not a hair softener. Conditioners were designed to harden our texture and hold it in place. Some way along the line, things got changed and we started blow drying after conditioner. Well, the fact of the matter is all conditioners, I don't care who makes it, if you grabbed a bottle of conditioner, you're going to see a very heavy, strong carcinogenic chemical called propylene glycol. Propylene glycol is a chemical that's used to make jet fuel. It's the first ingredient in your antifreeze for your car. It's designed to harden when it dries. So that's a chemistry action that occurs with a lot of the liquid chemicals that are in our cosmetics. Once they come out the bottles and they are placed on us, the oxygen oxidizes these liquids and turns them into solids. I didn't know this because beauty school does not dive this deep into chemistry for us. They just kind of give us the basics. So
here's the periodic table, right? Memorize it, right?
No matter what kind of hair you have, no matter what type of ethnicity you are, we all have to access the tap water. Unfortunately, in this day and age, every state's tap water is increasingly getting stronger by the day. Now, this is where Miss Tanya comes into play. Tap water happens to be our primary tool for every regimen in my license. It's the first tool that's needed for the nail care regimen. It's the first tool or resource that's accessed for your skincare regimen, and it's the first tool for your hair care regimen. Well, quite frankly, it is a chemical item. It's like a liquid conditioner on its own, and I never realized this. I have always seen the differences in my hair once it immediately accesses the tap water, and I've also always noticed what happens once my hair dries after accessing the tap water. And my hair is extremely, I call it hard, that the industry identifies as dry. And I noticed that the shedding increases. It's not a positive result. So to answer your question, My water is an inorganic water. I haven't added anything to it. Therefore, that makes it what's considered a soft water. Soft water in a chemistry lab removes. Tap water is a hard water. So in fact, it's actually leaving a lot behind because our hair and our skin is porous. So I conducted tests and research on over 400 women here in Colorado. And I picked a very complicated state because here in Colorado, we have no humidity, unlike the rest of the world. And we have extremely hard water now. So we have two culprits here in our state that is directly affecting our hair and our skin.
Okay.
So my water.
Oh, go ahead. Your water.
So my water is not something to replace your hair care regimen or what you're using right now. It's an addition to your family. It's a post-treatment to the tap water because without my water, the tap water is leaving a coverage. It's called a barrier or resistance, which is preventing any of your cosmetics from properly operating anyway. So my water is going to remove those remains and leave your skin and your hair a lot cleaner is the result and the action that my water gives us, which is the true path to soft and shiny and healthy hair and skin.
Okay. So now when you mention water, so yeah, it's people understand tap water is different than, let's just say, like I'm drinking Ice Mountain bottled water, right? It's a little bit different, types of water. Now, others might say, well, couldn't I just go to the grocery store and buy filtered water, spring water, and just pour it all over me? I mean, what makes your water so unique compared to going to the grocery store and buying bottled water?
Great question, Mr. Lee. And I'm glad you asked that question. So the biggest difference between my water versus that water that you have in that bottle is that, again, I haven't added anything to the water. The bottle that you're holding and that you're drinking, the first ingredient is tap water. And unfortunately, there's additional chemicals that have been added to that water. I have not added anything to my water, making it the only single ingredient cosmetic right now in the world. And again, I would love to exemplify the safeness of my product. I have a bottle here, which this is the 4-ounce bottle that I pretty much highly recommend for skin usage. What I love to do in front of everyone is just show that I'm able to spray it directly into my eyes. No burning, no irritation, which is huge for me. So some people and those that have skincare regimens may be okay with the burning. I'm not. I hate burning. I hate anything that makes me feel uncomfortable. And I've experienced a lot of things on my skin that made me burn and feel uncomfortable. My water does not.
Yeah.
So to further compare, when we put tap water on our face, it leaves a very white residue. We call that dry skin. My findings is that that's not dryness. It's actually the remnants that were left behind that are in the tap water. These remnants harden. They turn to solids once the oxidation occurs, which is the drying process. They turn into solids, Mr. Lee. And at that point, we feel it. We feel that result. Our face feels hard. It's difficult to stretch it. And then, of course, we see the white residue. My water does not give us a white residue. I feel clean. There's no hardness. There's no white residue left.
So let me restart. So back in 2016, that's when you started researching, right, about this. Now, what was the reason for that? I mean, was it for yourself, like, hey, this was really bothering me, and there has to be something better? Like, so this kind of, it would give our entrepreneurs, that are listening in right now, thinking about like, how can they come up with their own product, right? Own way of, starting their own business. Like, what inspired you? What got you to today?
Honestly, my passion. So I tell, and integrity. We all in our professions, we have a choice to either address the problems we clearly see, or we have a choice to ignore them. I chose to address them. And so this is what led me into researching. This is what led me into reading. And this is what led me into finding a water to soften our hair in place of conditioner. Would I have ever thought?
Now, I'm sorry, but okay, so yeah, your passion now, was it to solve your own like challenges for yourself first, or was it other people asking you for a solution? Like
it was a combination of both. So I have to admit that it was my clients that inspired me to speak out. For the first 12 years of my career or doing hair, I actually ran an at-home salon where I operated out of my home. I worked a full-time job back then, and worked for the city full-time, and then I did hair in the part-time. Because I had that personal environment with my clients, I was able to talk to them about their underlying challenges and their real problems about their hair. And I found that what my clients were telling me were the exact same problems and challenges that I was having myself with my own hair. So a lot of times stylists don't discuss what we go through with our hair, and the challenges that we face. But I was facing the same challenges. My hair was shedding. My hair was difficult to comb through. My hair was very, very hard in certain areas, with the frizz and so forth. So I was trying all kind of different products and product lines, and nothing seemed to be working. So this is what pushed me to ask for help. So I started asking like chemists and other cosmetic manufacturers that are owners of the companies, and started asking them for what I thought would be a natural shampoo, or what I thought was a healthy shampoo. I needed something something milder than what the market currently has for us to cleanse our hair.
So what you're saying is that you, as an entrepreneur, you listened to your customers, right? And that's kind of really how it all started, right?
You do.
So so would you say for other entrepreneurs, if they say, hey, I don't know what to create, maybe I do have a hair salon, or maybe I have a service-based business, but I don't know what product to create. Would you say that? Would you share like, hey, listen to your customers, see what their problems are, right? And if there's a pattern.
Yes. And then after compiling your data, which is listening to your customers, you then have to do research in order to search and find a solution. Once you find a solution, you then need to test and research that solution prior to rolling it out. This way you can ensure longevity of your product and your business, and you can adhere to any problems and challenges before rolling out and being in business. So listening to your clients is first, or your customers is first. I would put a little detour in there, and I would stop and say, listen to your heart. If, for instance, if you're in the carpet in the carpet business, and if the majority of carpenters are using nails, but you found an amazing tape that does just as good as a nail. If you've researched and you know in your heart that tape is going to attach the carpet better than the nails are, and it's going to provide a better solution, and it's going to create benefits for your customers, go for it. Because a lot of times we tend to assume that because it's not what everyone else is doing, or because it's not what others are doing, that we shouldn't do it. I would definitely say you're stopping yourself. So if you have a dream, or you have a preference, or you have anything in your mind that you feel is good, and you feel that it would help others, please, 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 you're holding yourself back. Go ahead and roll it out. Start testing it. Start sharing it. Start talking about it, because this is how we find out and decide whether it's something we really want to do or not.
I love that. So you found the problem, or you're listening to your customers, you're listening, and you're seeing that, okay, you yourself was experiencing the same challenges. So now you went into research. So now the next step is research. So let's dig a little deeper into research. so one of the steps was interviewing chemists, right? Now, what else? I mean, did you go on Google and say, hey, how to fix hair, or how to, you know, straighten out the hair, like this, like, or fix my skin? Like, what was that process like?
So back in 2016, I actually, without going into detail, I became a distributor of a CBD company called Arena Life. Arena Life had an accessible chemist for me to talk to and ask questions to. That's one of the benefits of accessing a newly launched business, is that you can really get in and you can kind of get involved. And so I got involved into the chemistry lab. And one day I asked Mr. Aaron Sumner, who is the chemist for Arena Life, I asked him to, like I just it mentioned earlier, to make a shampoo, you know, for me. And he made the comment to me, you realize if you just have a good water, you don't need sulfur and hydroxide. So at this time,
did you think he was crazy?
My chemistry level was not as sharp as it is now. So I have to admit that anything I used to hear that was foreign to my ears, I automatically called it stupid. You know, that's dumb. That doesn't make sense. I've never heard that.
Water. Come on. I could get water from my bottled water, right?
Right. But I also understand the importance of clearing your confusion, you know, at the time of the onset. So when you're in front of a resource, that is your best time to say, well, what about this? Well, what does this mean? So I want to share this real quick because it's very important to my journey. Back when I first started doing hair, this was back in 1987, I was in middle school. The service that I was trained on was called a shampoo, blow dry, press and curl. At that time, there was this green jug of this green, stinky, thick liquid that was in this jug, and it was sulfur. You had to put on gloves.
I imagine like Ghostbusters with the green ooze. Okay, that's what I'm visualizing here.
You had to put on gloves, you know, to access it. And this was not something that we put on every woman's hair. This was only for like someone that maybe worn a wig maybe too long, or someone that maybe had been in the hospital that was unable to cleanse their hair, you know. This was not something we used on every single client. And back then, quite frankly, I was using a horse product. It was called Mane and Tail. A lot of listeners and viewers that are watching probably remember. I remind us about things that we didn't even have beauty supply stores here in Colorado back in the 80s. We had places like Woolsworth and Walgreens is where I bought my hair care products from. We didn't have, VO5 didn't have conditioner at first. It was just a shampoo line. So at any rate, sulfur was the question I asked in the chemistry lab with the chemist. And I asked him, what if I just took straight sulfur and rubbed it into the hairs and rinsed with tap water? Wouldn't that work? And he broke down the chemical compound of sulfur and how strong it is and the importance of diluting it, which is what then sparked a light in me. And I then went to research and reference Madam C.J. Walker. A side note to this real quick is Madam C.J. Walker was a pioneer who was the first woman to make her own product. Well, guess what? She was the first woman to mix sulfur with the tap water. And I think the ingredient list has grown and grown and grown and grown since then into what we now call conditioner and heat protectants and spritz and all of these items that we have on the market. So back to the chemist. When he spoke this word to me about the water, I did not understand it because I didn't have any water knowledge either, Mr. Lee. So I had to take another seat down and I had to look into different waters. I think all of us that are watching and listening, we all know about the tap water. We also know about distilled water. We also know about seawater. And we also are very, very, very familiar with reservoir water. All four of those are four different levels of water and they all have different functions. I didn't know this. I thought all waters were the same, and that's not true. All waters have different levels and they also have different functions. This is why they have different names. So this is why I came with naming my water and inorganic water. Inorganic means it's no longer consisting of, which directly describes how I caress the water here in Greenwood Village. So back to the basis of that story with the chemist. Having that gift and that resource, there's a lot of people that may have never spoken to a chemist.
Yeah.
I was benefited by being able to gain this knowledge about the waters. So I have to admit, I started out using tap water. That failed miserably on our hair. Once it dried, hair was frizzy, difficult to comb through. It was horrible. I then went to store-bought waters, and I mean, we tried all of them. I tried Aquafina, I tried Core, I tried Smart, and I still had the same result that I did from the tap water at home or at the salon. So we kept pushing, Mr. Lee, and I started exercising other waters that are available to us in the world today. And I stumbled across one particular water that is softening our hair and our skin better than anything in the world that we've ever tried. And it's so simple that it's just a little non-adapting, because we've just been so used to adding so much to our hair. We've been used to adding so much to our skin that now I'm here to just take us back to the basics, which is your water and the proper cleansing of your skin and hair before you add any of your favorite cosmetics. That's all.
Yeah, and I love it. And thanks for sharing all the little details of your process. Like, so you weren't afraid, you stepped up and you asked the chemist, hey, how do you solve this problem, right? So he kind of gave you direction, take a look at water, and then you didn't stop there. You went ahead and started testing all these waters. Like, you yourself was the guinea pig at that point, right? Like, I'm trying all this, I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and eventually you found this soft water that worked well. Right. Now that, what time period is that? So we started in 2016. Now where are we at now when you finally found that product?
In 2016 is the year that I began researching and studying. So I like to say that's when my journey began. Let's fast forward, because it was July of 2018. So I would say about a solid 16 months that I did not sell this product. I did not try to bottle it. I tested it on all clients that were coming in. So the way I did this, because some people may say, well, you tried it on clients? I did. I hold trust with my clients. And so clients would come in. I would simply ask them, hey, I've got this water that I would like to use in place of conditioner today. Oh, the looks that I would get.
It's like, what? Are you crazy? I want that conditioner.
Yes, thank you. Oh my God, this girl don't know what she's talking about. She's going to mess my hair up. It's the all for all. We have all been shocked. We are all amazed. And so my research, I didn't even realize I was conducting my own research study, but I started documenting. So I started taking before photos, and then I started taking after photos of the differences when my water was used. And the results are amazing. They're all over my pages. And then I think the bigger thing resulted, which was my clients. They started coming back, Mr. Lee. Now, it's one thing to be a stylist and you nail it in the chair the first time with the style and the client is happy. But it's another thing when your customer or your client calls you back.
Yeah,
and
proof in the pudding, right?
And listen, for the first time in my life, my clients were not calling back from Miss Tanya. They were calling back from my water. Yeah. All of them were realizing the water. It's the water that made my hair feel this good. The water is what stopped my shedding. The water is what makes me so shiny. So 2018 was in July, was when I realized what this water is doing in addition to the long-term benefits. So the more you use my water, the bigger and better the benefits are with the long-term use of it. So I decided to launch. I did a lot of praying, crying, yelling and screaming. And I believe my God wanted me to roll this out for the world. So it's just an additional option, you know, for our hair.
What were your fears? What were your concerns? I mean, why did you cry and pray? And like, what were you praying for? right? Because you had this product, you had customers saying, yes, this is amazing.
Yeah, but it was
worried
water.
about. Yeah,
but
it's the water, right? Like no one's gonna believe me, right? It's like you have like some sort of magical water, and people think, yeah, I can get water at home, right?
So I had my own family saying that I was crazy and telling me that water doesn't do anything, and I had my own family kind of trying to discourage me. And this is what I want to say to all entrepreneurs listening.
Yeah,
you may have direct, what I call detours, people that will say to you, you can't do that, or that's impossible, and you can't make that, and you won't be able to do that. You will only know if you try. So all I did to myself was say, Tanya, the only way you're going to have any different results is if you try something different. And my results happen to benefit not just myself, but all others that are using the product. I highly encourage any entrepreneur to just hold your heart and let it guide you. If you feel that, like I said, tape, if you found a tape that is stronger and better than a nail, even though we're adapted to nails, you run with that. You start talking and sharing, because if it is true, word of mouth is the best source of advertisement. People will share it. Absolutely. And that's what's happening with my brand. People are using it. People are trying it. And
I think we have a little bit of a freeze there. But while we're waiting for Tanya to come back, she is so right. Being an entrepreneur, like one of the I guess people that I look up to is the late Steve Jobs from Apple, and like you have what he would say in his ads would say, change the status quo, right? When the first iPhones came out, or their MP3 players came out, were there other MP3 players that existed? Sure. And were there other people saying, yeah, there's no way, look at all these, the market is totally saturated, why would you come out with another MP3 player, right? But yet he believed that people did need it, and there was a space for that. So that's the key. So for entrepreneurs that are watching this, as you can hear from Tanya's journey, it wasn't overnight. As a matter of fact, I mean, she started in the 80s, and now 2016. It was a build up from the very from she was in middle school all the way up to where we're at today, and she slowly built it up. Stacking experience, leveraging that leveraging the connections, and putting that all together to where she's at today. And think about the research, right? It wasn't overnight. It wasn't, oh yeah, I talked to the chemist and then apparently water is the thing, so I'll just have water. She took a lot of time and research to make that happen. And it looks like Tanya's coming back. We'll wait until she connects. But so thank you for the individuals that have commented. Yes, this sounds like it's really awesome stuff. Hey, welcome back, Tanya. Welcome back.
Thank you. So sorry for that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, during the intermission, I was just repeating your story, where you came from. It didn't happen overnight. Success doesn't happen overnight. When people think of, oh wow, you're an entrepreneur, you've grown your business. Now you mentioned you built a affiliate program. You're building all these other programs, right? Man, like you're so lucky, right? you can hear from your story. It wasn't luck. No. It was hard freaking work, right? Hard freaking work.
Yes. It was. But this is what I want to express. This is what I want to express, though. Mm-hmm. Each individual entrepreneur, you really got to find what's called your designated passion. Some of us are within industries and fields that we know that we're not happy in, and we know that that's not our true calling. Doing hair is my true calling. As I admitted in the beginning, I don't like doing nails. I don't like doing skin. I love hair. So I decided to drop that part. I was kind of running myself raggedy, trying to buy all the stuff for the skincare stuff. And
All right, another connection, but yeah. So as Tanya's mentioned, it's following your passion. But I also would add, too, from my take, passion is a good 50% of it. There's the other half too that I would also add is that is this something that's marketable? Are you going to solve a big a problem for people that that's something that you're really passionate about? You might say, oh well, I'm really passionate about knitting, I don't know, baskets. I don't know what it is. I really made it up, but maybe no one wants to buy my knitted basket, so that doesn't really solve a problem. But one of the things that Tanya hasn't mentioned, but she kind of shared that through her story, is that yes, her passion is hair, and she's been in this industry doing hair for a very, very long time. But also she is passionate about solving people's problems. She listened and she continued that research, and she was able to solve that problem. So rather than just the passion, it's a really good start. It really lights the fire, but really having the passion to solve problems is really part of that entrepreneurial spirit. So we'll give it a few minutes. Oh, it looks like Tanya's coming back. So let me grab back up here. If anyone has any questions, feel free to comment, and we can we can answer those questions. Hey Tanya, welcome back.
Thank you.
So technology is definitely not on our side.
It's the Wi-Fi. It's the Wi-Fi in Colorado, everyone. It's not me.
Man, yeah, no worries.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
So okay, so in your journey, going through your concerns, your fears, your family telling you, water, you're crazy. Water, of all things, I like my air conditioner, but then they started using it and they became believers, right, in your product. Now, what was the process of the manufacturing process, the bottling, all that? How did that go?
So that was hard. That's why it's called a journey and a process, because there's a lot of mistakes that are made in what's called the startup process. You have to test things, you have to trial things. So you just mentioned, for instance, like the printing aspect. It's one thing to find a label designer to design your label. It's a whole nother shopping cart to go and find the right printing shop to print on the right material. I had to go through that trial of, I started with paper labels, which did horrible on the bottles because the water dissolves the paper just as it does so well on our hair and skin. So I had to, so I had to find vinyl labels. Packaging was a trial. We started out with spray bottles on everything. I had to realize that was not the best option of output for the water for the bottles. So now we've transitioned and now we've upgraded to spouts on the bottles. Things like that are part of what's called the startup process. These are things that are so important to make sure that you're doing to ensure that once you launch, you're rising and excelling. Because if you don't go through these processes in the beginning, those challenges that you just heard me go through are going to become part of your business. And that's going to make things so much harder on you as the entrepreneur or the business owner. So it's so important to test. It's important to trial, not just see something and buy it and then offer it to your customers. You got to trial that out. And I always say, that is if you care. I care a lot about what I do. I care a lot about how people feel about what I'm doing to them. And I do care about the results of what they're experiencing behind my product. So my journey was long. I know a lot of entrepreneurs that have made their own product very quickly. This took me 18 months to conduct my research and studies. And I now introduce the world to my water leave-in hair solution. You know, it's truly life. It's really different and very, very.
With your inventory, do you buy it in bulk and batches, or do you work with your manufacturer and say, okay, well, you know, produce as needed, like, and then drop ship it? Like, how does that work for you?
So if anyone's wondering, I control a lot of the duties that go along with Tanya Does Hair. One of my challenges is being controlling. I am a micromanager. However, it's important that I oversee everything and everything is right. So in terms of my process is very important. So we batch, we test. So in the process of what I do have to caress the water. Once the water is caressed, we then have to test it to ensure that it's at the same consistent level. We also develop batching numbers so that if there's ever a problem with any one bottle, I know which batch it came from, and I'm able to verify and research or investigate what happened and what went wrong, so that we can make the adjustments and the proper changes to ensure that our integrity stays number one. In addition to bottling, we also have to order supplies constantly. If you can imagine, I'm ordering 3,000 bottles at a time. So you have to do your research. There are large manufacturers. There's manufacturers that you can buy individual units from. But it's much more, of course, productive for any entrepreneur to buy in bulk. I had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, but you can buy in bulk immediately, right? You couldn't buy in bulk immediately because you can buy
local. You can find local vendors that you can respond to in person and pick up, which is more cost effective. It's always best to be able to buy local than having things shipped. But then there's other challenges like the marketing and the promoting. So part of the startup process, the promoting of it was very difficult because I was coming with something totally different. So I had to understand that it's exclusive is what it's called when you're coming with something brand new. And I then really had to put my trust behind it. So with going through the process and getting everything established, you then come to the marketing and the promoting aspect of building your business, which to me is the fun part. That's when you get to brag about what you spent all this time, building and creating. And it's kind of like the nuts and bolts of really running a business is the marketing and promoting.
Love it. So now let's talk a little bit about, let's change gears a little bit. Now you mentioned, okay, so you have your hair salon, right? Then you have your My Water product. But also you built an affiliate program. Now, one of the first things people think, like, affiliate program, well, that's a multi-layer marketing program. Why would you do that? There's some pros and cons to it, and there's also negative stereotypes to it. So, but also I'm curious, why did you do the affiliate or create your own affiliate program, and versus other ways to market your product?
Most and foremost, I wanted others to benefit from this. Also, I realized in the beginning of all this that the whole world, this is, is something that everybody in the world is facing. This is not just a Colorado thing. It's not just a Greenwood Village thing. So I then realized that I had a challenge on my shoulders. How am I going to help everybody that can't get to my salon, right? So this is what made us start the e-commerce website. This was how I realized I'd be able to reach much larger masses and all across the United States. So with that, we built the e-commerce website, which is also another component, of course, of the business, but it kind of solved my challenge of how am I going to help the world? So then I realized, okay, well, wait a minute. The world, what about a stylist? It was like more or less I had two targets or two markets to target, which were individual users as well as those like me, which are behind the chair. Yeah. So this is what engaged in me to want to build an affiliate program, because I wanted everyone to not just have something to buy retail like I've had to do all of my stuff. I wanted others to be able to benefit from it and be able to make money off of it as well. One thing I'd like to go into is my affiliate program. It's free to sign up. That's unheard of. Most affiliate programs that are available today on the market require some type of out-of-pocket expense, whether it's a sign-up fee or a membership fee or some type of money's out your
I'm not
pocket.
going to name names, but there is a program that that sells these knives, and I got and there's this like thing in the back of my mind, like, because like when I was young, I got suckered into one of these programs, and when I was in that chair, they were asking me, wait, you want me to give you money to sell your product? What? How does that make sense? Right?
That's what I call the traditional business model. And what I'm bringing forth, I'm calling my business models holistic business models, because you got to slow down. You got to understand the process. And like you just said, I don't think it makes sense to have to go into debt to start a business. That's backwards practice to me. It should be easy to start a business. And then the process is that you build from the bottom up. You got to crawl before you walk.
Absolutely.
So in building the affiliate program, I wanted others to understand that process, that when you come in, it's free. You start sharing your link, which is free. It doesn't cost you to copy and paste a URL, into your text messages and your posts. And then you will begin to get orders through your link. After many orders, you're going to start to earn a commission. 30% of whatever you would make, Lee, in your account off of your link, I pay you 30% of that every month. This way, you're able to build. You can either what's called save your money and let it accumulate to a certain goal that you may have, or we also have what's called a cash out payday, so that you're able to either cash out. We also offer the option to roll your money over and to purchase like a wholesale package or something to level up your salon and offer retail at that point.
Okay.
So I wanted others to have the same opportunities, resources that I've had available to me throughout my journey. I feel that others will never be as successful as I do unless you follow in my path. So like, for instance, I've had a lot of business women come to me that have tried to start a business, but haven't even gotten an address for the business, So I have to remind everyone, there is a process to everything. And as long as you follow the proper process, I have a funny feeling you're going to automatically experience success.
Love it. And like, how did you create the affiliate program? Like, did you come with, did you do research and see how other affiliate programs work, talk to people that that were part of the affiliate program, and then started putting that together? Was there a lot of trial and error? Like, how did that program work?
No, honestly, I copied another company. I just admitted earlier in our episode that I was an affiliate for Arena Life. And that opportunity, it made me feel very comfortable. It made me feel very special. I was able to sell the product. I was able to obtain inventory in a bulk that was affordable. And then I was able to sell it at a higher price, which made me extra money. And I thought, man, this works. This is helpful. You get other people helping you sell your product, and but you're compensating them for doing so. And it's a win-win situation. And it's a very, very productive way on how to get your product out into other demographical areas or other arenas that you don't reside in yourself. So I mentioned earlier, I'm part of my team. I have a website designer. And so I went to her and I said, what is it going to look like for me to build an affiliate program?
I think we have a little bit more Wi-Fi challenges in Colorado, but no worries. Hearing Tanya's affiliate program, I guess it makes me a little more comfortable. I think it's less of what we're used to with the MLM system, but really from the sound of it, it's more of a manufacturer to a distributor kind of structure where Tanya is the manufacturer producing the product, and we have distributors. Or, I mean, think of it this way, right? We buy products from the store, like Myers, Kroger, I guess, from the local area here, but just grocery stores in general. CVS, you know, pharmacy stores, and they're buying it from the manufacturer. So, I mean, technically, could you call them an affiliate? Yeah, sure. They're making money. But the only difference is they're stocking it in their location. But it also sounds like these are salons buying her product, and they're probably stocking at least a few bottles. So when Tanya comes back, we'll ask her, okay, you know, like with the salons, are they stocking the products? You know, how are they you know, like purchasing? Well, we kind of know that this is through their website, through their affiliate link. So, okay, Tanya is back. So we're just chatting. So from the sound of it, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? It's less so much when people think of affiliate, they're thinking of like the multi-layer marketing, like pyramid thing. But from the sound of it, it's more of like a manufacturer to distributor relationship, right? You're manufacturing the product, and we have you know, salons buying your product, and they probably have a few of your bottles at their salon, right? And they're using your product on their customers' hairs, you know, and their skin, right? For that. So it's more of that type of relationship,
it is,
right?
And the relationship that I'm hoping to share with everyone else is the option, you know, the opportunity to become versatile, to be able to really, because who my product caters to is the pattern hair community. And in the industry, the hair care industry right now, it's just not that popular for pattern individuals to want to go into salons. So I feel that this is going to close the gap for not just stylists in terms of adding more clients to their clientele base. This is going to add an additional product to their retail shelves. And more importantly, it's going to add an additional option for your clients in terms of your menu services. Sometimes clients only come to a salon because they're offering something totally new, you know, something totally different. That's the opportunity, I call it, more so than a relationship. It's an opportunity to close the gaps, to be more versatile, to have more options, you know, to have that gray, you know, that black and white area. Instead of just having conditioner, you now can offer a water for the mindsets that understand water. You know, there are a lot of them out here, more than I knew. So yeah, it's more providing the same opportunities that have been afforded to me. I wanted to provide it for everyone else. This is why I launched Beyond Beauty School. I realized that the way I do hair is very different than how we're taught and trained in traditional beauty school. So I've developed a curriculum and a training workshop to share and teach how I do hair, the tools that I use, which is different from what we used in beauty school. That makes a difference. So I say to everyone, it's just I found a better way. And I want everyone else that has the same drive that I have, that has the same determination that I have, and has the same passion that I have. This is for you. You can do it too.
Yeah, I love it. Now we're coming up to our hour. And first, you know, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. Now, do you have any final tips for anyone thinking about starting their beauty business? What would you tell them?
First and foremost, if it were me listening, I think what would make me feel best is I want everyone to understand you can call me for help. You can call me to ask me any questions. You can call me to ask for resources, for vendors, for options, for just an ear, because those are some of the things that I really didn't have during my journey. So a lot of times we don't need $1, you know, we don't need a text message. We just need an ear to vent to, or to run our ideas by, and just someone to say, hey, I think that's good, or here's what I did, or let me explain to you what happened to me when I tried to do that. That's what I say to every entrepreneur. Reach out, ask for help. Don't be afraid to share and talk about what you're thinking about doing, and follow your heart. If you have passion and you know what you're doing is right, and you know what you have is good, go ahead and share it with the world, because the only thing or person that's holding you back is yourself.
Wow, I love it. And Tanya, Thank you so much. That's very generous of you. I mean, as you can hear, everyone, she works 7 days a week,
Yes.
and she wakes up 4:30 in the morning, and she has a jam-packed day, but yet she's willing to share her time and her knowledge and her experience to help others. And you know, like it's rare. It's hard to find. And thank you, Tanya, so much for being on the show, sharing your knowledge. So with that being said, how can our listeners reach you? How can they contact you?
You can reach me more conveniently on the website at www.tanyadoeshairllc.com, and that's spelled TanyaDoeshairLLC.com. You also can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn under Tanya Does Hair LLC.
Awesome. And for those that are like, oh my God, I'm driving right now, I don't have pen and paper, don't worry. We're going to have all the information, all the references, all the key points right on our blog page, but we'll also share it on YouTube, and we'll share it on our podcast. So the information will be there. You'll be able to go on our page, click on the link, and go right there. Okay. Yes. So again, Tanya, thank you so much.
Thank you,
and
Mr.
everyone, have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye, everyone.